Hey everyone, it's Tom here from Ludicrous Feed. Thank you so much for joining us. Today I'm going to go through the BYD Dolphin Configurator, which dropped last night at 8 p.m. at the launch at SeaWorld on the Gold Coast, Queensland, here in Australia. And I'm also going to compare the different variants of the BYD Dolphin, including the Dolphin Dynamic, Dolphin Premium, and the Dolphin Sport. And then we're going to look at each variant and compare them to its closest competitor, which is the MG4, which has its own variants as well. So watch all the way to the end. I'll have a comparison slide for each of those categories. And then I'll give you my final thoughts about the BYD Dolphin against the MG4 as well. All right, let's get into it. Let's go into the Dolphin configurator, which opened last night, of course, as you'll see here. The website is the bydautomotive.com.au, and you can select the Dolphin vehicle. And it says right here, the estimated delivery time is September, October 2023. Today is the 23rd of June, so we're looking at about 3 to 4 months estimated delivery time for this vehicle. So there are three variants on offer at the moment here in Australia. We've got the BYD Dolphin Dynamic starting from $38,890, and BYD were quite clear that this is now the most affordable EV in Australia by $100. You'll see in my comparison slides the MG4 Excite, which is the base entry-level model, is $38,990 Australian dollars. So $100 is $100. It's still cheaper for the BYD Dolphin. Then you've got the BYD Dolphin Premium at $44,890. And then the BYD Dolphin Sport at $49,990. It takes you to this different page here from BYD. Estimated delivery of 2024. And yeah, $49,990, which is a limited edition, only to 1,000 units, as you can see. 1,000 units there, as you can see. All right, let's go back to the BYD Dolphin Dynamic, which is the entry level, promised by BYD as the most affordable EV in Australia. And let's have a look at the stats or the specs here. We've got the ultra safe BYD blade battery, 44.9 kilowatt hours usable, maximum power of 70 kilowatts, maximum torque of 180 newton meters, and 340 kilometers of WLTP. This is the figure that I'd be focusing on. That's probably the closest to real world range. I'd probably exclude the NEDC range. It's just, yeah, not even darn close. Many of us would be saying the EV community. So WLTP, even then, that overestimates it by about 10 to 15%. DC charging of 60 kilowatts, 16-inch alloy rims, and complimentary 1-year roadside assistance included. I'll go through the servicing schedule and warranty as well later on. Let's have a look at the colors on offer. We've got sand white, urban grey, Maldive purple, and coral pink. So leave a comment below to tell me which color you prefer: sand white, urban grey, Maldive purple, and coral pink. Wheels, 16-inch alloy wheels, standard, and that's the only option. Interior is the pink and grey, which is included. There we go. We certainly had a look at the interior as well last night at the launch, so check out that video too in time. There it is again. Okay, optional extras. You can also purchase passenger floor mats, which are optional. With your new BYD Dolphin Dynamic or Premium, you have a choice of extra fabric or rubber floor mats as an optional extra. And window tint is optional as well. BYD Dolphin Dynamic and Premium both come with the rear passenger windows and boot window pre-tinted. Front passenger windows can be tinted as an optional extra. No cost at this stage. Pickup and delivery options. Enter your postcode to see available pickup and delivery options for your new BYD Dolphin. I'm just going to put Sydney postcode, and Sydney is BYD Sutherland. If I pick the north of Sydney, which is Chatswood 2065, then you're looking at Castle Hill. So that's an example for Sydney. Just plug in your postcode for your local area. Again, BYD Dolphin, estimated delivery September, October 2023. Let's just put the Chatswood postcode in. BYD Castle Hill, let's continue with pricing. Okay, so we've got incentives for the different states. Currently, Queensland is leading the charge with $6,000 rebate. Hence, I guess that's why the launch was in Queensland, to accentuate that discount. And so we've got registration in New South Wales. And so it's a personal car. So there's the Dolphin Dynamic 38,890 in coral pink, which is included. I think all the different paints are included. I'll go back and check. Alloy wheels included, pink and grey interior included, pickup from Castle Hill is included. There's the subtotal. And the stamp duty is included, which is actually excluded because it's under the threshold. Registration is 556, CTP 420. Slimline plate fee of $125, which is a nice black and white plate in New South Wales as opposed to the yellow. On-road subtotal is 1101.57. You can trade in or not, and driveway price is still under $40,000, which is great. So there you go, under $40,000 for the BYD Dolphin pre-rebate here in New South Wales, which is great. And then from there, you can cash, finance, or lease, and due today is $1,000 fully refundable order fee. All right, I'm just going to go back and check to see whether the different paints cost money. No, they are all included in the dynamic version, which is super duper. Let's have a look at the Dolphin Premium now for $44,890 before on roads. So these are the two-tone colors, and look, all the colors are included as well. So you don't have to think about whether it's going to break the bank to add those colors on. But we've got that ski white, urban gray, two-tone look, coral pink and urban gray, two-tone look, then the surf blue and urban gray, and Atlantis gray and Delin black, two-tone. Wheels are now 17-inch alloys. Yep, for each color. And for each color as well, gray, black included, pink, gray included, blue, black included, gray, black included. So it looks like the colors do match the exterior, which is very interesting. So I'll just cycle through the interior for each one. So that's the surf blue one. And then that's the coral pink and ski white interior. Let me just go back real quick to the dynamic interior, which I didn't show you. So that's sand white and then urban gray. I think we've got, yep, Maldive purple interior is brown and black, and then coral pink is pink and gray. So yeah, just different permutations and combinations there for the different colors, just to match the outside. And then optional extras for dynamic, you get same thing, passenger floor mats as optional, fabric or rubber, and the window tint as well. So whether you want that front window tinted as well, because the back and boot is already pre-tinted. So let's do this. Let's do the premium. Let's just choose the ski white and postcode. Let's do Chatswood once again, closest area. And let's go to continue pricing. And in New South Wales, pre-rebate, once you include all the on-roads, and still under the stamp duty threshold, which is good. Looking at $45,991, so just over $45,000 for the premium Dolphin. And again, $1,000 refundable order fee. All right, let's have a look at the Dolphin Sport in a bit more detail. So again, brings you to this other page in dark colors. Estimated delivery is 2024, and that's been changed on the current config, of course. Only limited to 1,000 units, and no specs as such, but we've got a bit of a hint here. So sport performance tires, performance styled rims, sport styled body kit, tuned sports performance, and sub 7 seconds for 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. And again, only 1,000 units will be available at this stage. Only matte grays included, and it's 17-inch alloy wheels, and it's the gray black included. And again, it says down here, artist's impression, final features and finishes may vary. Optional extras, once again, we've got the floor mats and window tinting as before. And let's have a look at Chatswood once again. And in New South Wales, pre-rebate, again, falls under the local stamp duty threshold, which is good. And it's $51,091. So very similar to the Atto 3 extended range drive-away price for the Dolphin Sport. So again, $1,000 refundable order fee. Yeah, so it looks like that's what we're going to get with the Dolphin. In terms of pricing, reminder again that Dolphin Dynamic and Dolphin Premium delivery time is October 2023, and 2024 is delivery time for the Dolphin Sport. Okay, so now I want to share with you some tables which I created today based on data, mainly from Zcar and also from the BYD Dolphin and also the MG4 order pages. Let's now compare the BYD Dolphin Dynamic to the BYD Dolphin Premium, the two models that you can get this year in 2023. So the BYD Dolphin is 38,890 for dynamic and 44,990 for premium. So you're looking at about a $6,000 difference. And BYD assured us that this price was already set months ago, prior to the uh, MG4 setting their lower price before probably about a week ago now, um, to try to get to the lowest pricing in Australia for an EV. Good to see that this is good for competition, good for consumers. That we're seeing two brands try to get the lowest price for consumers for electric vehicles. Looking at the torque powertrain, so 70 kilowatts versus 150 kilowatts between the two variants, dynamic and premium. 180 newton meters versus 310 newton meters, and they're both front-wheel drive. WLTP range is 340 versus 427, so you're getting about 80 odd kilometers extra range, but the efficiency does drop away between the dynamic, 132 watt hours per kilometer versus 142 watt hours per kilometer. The battery size is 44.9 kilowatt hours versus 60.5 kilowatt hours, so 15 odd kilowatt hour difference. AC DC charge rate, 7 kilowatts single phase for both, 60 versus 80 kilowatts for dynamic versus premium. I've got to say 60 is getting to that slow kind of speed. The Atto 3 is 89, and already sometimes I feel like possibly it could be faster, especially when you're driving on a road trip. If this is going to be more of an urban vehicle, then it may not be that much of an issue. But then again, some people don't have off-street parking. They need to use public chargers. So that's something you need to be worried about, that lower charging rate for DC. 16-inch versus 17-inch for dynamic versus premium for the alloy wheels, and that 12.3 seconds for dynamic. The premium acceleration is actually 7 seconds, so you do get more acceleration with the extra power and extra torque there from the front-wheel drive motors. Boot space, 345 liters. And BYD have confirmed Apple CarPlay for the BYD Dolphin. There's a question mark on the Android Auto. Even though the Atto 3 now has Android Auto with a recent update, BYD have not confirmed that in writing as yet. So we shall see when the Dolphin comes out whether you can use Android Auto. BYD Atto 3 has wireless Android Auto, whereas Apple CarPlay is wired as well. So we'll see whether Dolphin has the same compatibility and configuration. 1 year roadside assistance. And Zcar quotes that there's a 6-year, 150,000 kilometer warranty for both cars, and an 8-year, 160,000 kilometer battery warranty for the powertrain. All right, so this is where it gets really interesting. Let's compare the BYD Dolphin with the MG4. Let's start with the base entry-level cars. So we've got the BYD Dolphin Dynamic on the left, and then the MG4 51 Excite on the right. They're both pretty much similar in price, $38,890 for the Dynamic and $38,990 for the Excite, so $100 difference. In terms of the powertrain, so the Dolphin is front-wheel drive versus the MG4 being rear-wheel drive, and some would argue that rear-wheel drive vehicles have a better handling capability. We've got 70 kilowatts for the Dynamic and 125 kilowatts, 180 newton meters, 250 newton meters of torque. So that would translate to a better acceleration down here, 12.3 seconds for dynamic versus 7.7 seconds. Again, 12.3 is not super quick. However, it is nice to be a little bit of a traffic light beater when you're trying to get in between cars in traffic. So, if that's important to you, then, the MG4 certainly has more power when it comes to acceleration. In terms of range, 340 kilometers for Dolphin Dynamic and 350 kilometers for Excite. And that's because the Excite has a bigger battery, 50.8 kilowatt hours versus 44.9 kilowatt hours for the Dolphin. But that's because the Dolphin Dynamic has apparently a better efficiency at 132 watt hours per kilometer. So AC charge rate is 7 versus 6.6, so not much difference there. They're both single phase. Dolphin Dynamic 60 kilowatts. Excite is a bit faster at 88. Like I said, Atto 3 is about 89 top speed. So if you're going to be doing some road trips, then that might be a consideration for that quicker charging speed versus 60, which again is on that slow side. 16-inch wheels for Dolphin Dynamic, 17-inch wheels for the Excite. We've gone through acceleration, and boot space, very similar, 345 liters versus 363 liters. We've touched on the Apple CarPlay Android Auto issue for the Dolphin. Excite for MG is definitely Apple CarPlay and Android Auto confirmed. and a 7-year unlimited kilometer warranty for the battery, powertrain, and the car itself, which is pretty good actually for an EV. Not many manufacturers offer an unlimited kilometer warranty for their battery, so something to note there as well. Let's have a look now at the dimensions between the BYD Dolphin and the MG4. Both are ground-up EVs. BYD Dolphin is the E-Platform 3.0, and MG4 is now the first ground-up EV from SAIC or MG. It's based on the MSP platform. Both seat 5. In length, very similar. Dolphin is 3 millimeters longer. In width, MG4 3.7% wider. In height, the Dolphin is 4.2% taller, and wheelbase MG4 is 5 millimeters longer. And you can see why these two are very close, because the specs reflect that. Very similar vehicles, and the Dolphin is very similar in size to the Toyota Corolla as well. So if you want a comparison to a nice vehicle, then that's what you should be looking at. In terms of weight, the Dynamic is 1506 kilograms. The Premium is slightly heavier with the bigger battery, 1658 kilograms. The Excite, in essence, they're the numbers right there. So you would say overall the MG4 is a bit heavier than the Dolphin in general. Boot capacity 345 liters, 1310 liters with the second row down. And there are the numbers there for Excite and Essence. Looks like you've got a bit more room with the seats down within the BYD Dolphin versus the MG4, if that's important to you. Let's have a look at the BYD servicing schedule. So BYD electric cars can be serviced at its centers run by Eagers Automotive or Select My Car Tire and Auto Mechanics. So that's the servicing schedule there for the BYD Dolphin. Capped price at $189 for the first 12 months. Then it goes to $370, then back to $189. And then at the 4-year mark, that's when it gets a bit more expensive, $447, and then back to $189 once again. And this is thanks to Zcar for this information. There is actually no confirmed servicing schedule yet for MG4. All we can do is take a leaf out of the MG ZS EV schedule, which requires every 2 years for a service. So 48 months or 20,000 kilometers. So this is a comparison of the BYD Dolphin and the MG4 against all the other vehicles in this sort of price range. Of note is the GWM Aura, which we are looking forward to hopefully test drive as well on this channel. So the Aura is looking a bit more expensive now, at $5,000 more than the Dolphin and the MG4. Similar size battery to the Dolphin, less range, worse efficiency, acceleration somewhere between MG4 and Dolphin. But it can charge at 3-phase, apparently 11 kilowatts, and the charging rate's also slow at 64. Smaller boot space, that's the GWM Aura. All right, so this is where it gets a bit complicated. Now we're comparing the BYD Dolphin Premium to the rest of the MGs. So we're talking about the 64 Excite, 64 Essence, 77 long range. So the BYD Dolphin Premium is sort of equivalent in price to in fact, exactly the same price as the MG4 64 Excite. Both have very similar powertrains at 150 kilowatts, slightly more torque for the Premium Dolphin, 310 Newton meters. Again, a front-wheel drive Dolphin Premium versus rear-wheel drive for the MG4s. Front-wheel drive vehicles are prone to a bit of torque steering, so around corners if you're going too quick, you can feel like the car is fishtailing a little bit at the back. Certainly experienced that testing the BYD Atto 3's front-wheel drive and other front-wheel drive vehicles as well, so just something to note. WLTP range efficiency, we've got here the Dolphin is 427, the MG4 Excite and Essence is sitting at 450, 435, and then the long range is 530. The efficiency is actually better in the Excite and Essence variants for the MG4. The Dolphin Premium is at 142 watt-hours per kilometer, very similar to the long range MG. And the battery size of the Premium is 60.5 kilowatt hours, slightly bigger than the MG4 Excite and Essence. And the long range is 74.2 kilowatt hours for the MG4. And for charging, very similar, 7 kilowatts versus 6.6 kilowatt for AC. Now this is where MG4 is ahead of the Dolphin, because the Dolphin Premium only offers 80 kilowatts of charging, whereas 140 kilowatts, I think that's quite respectable if you're going to take this for a long drive. And same with the MG4 long range, 140 kilowatts, I think that's good. And in terms of AC charging, it offers 11 kilowatts, 3-phase charging as well, apparently. Wheels, 17-inch for the Dolphin Premium, and also the MG4 64 Excite. whereas you get the 18-inch wheels for the 64 Essence and 77 long range for MG4. Acceleration 7 seconds. I think that's fairly respectable for a single motor EV. 7.9 seconds for the 64 Excite and Essence, and 6.5 seconds for 77 long range. Boot space 345, 363 liters for the MG, and then 350 liters for long range, so a bit smaller than the others. And we've gone through the differences in the connectivity and warranty between the Dolphin and the MG vehicles. And this slide here compares the Dolphin Premium and the MG 464 kilowatt hour with the GWM Aura extended range against the Nissan Leaf and BYD Atto 3. So the Aura is a bit more expensive, $3,000 more than the Dolphin and the MG4. Slightly smaller battery than the other two, again slightly less range, which means a worse efficiency, and a little bit slower as well, 8.2 seconds for acceleration. It can charge at 3-phase, 11 kilowatts. And again, the charging rate is slower at 67 kilowatts. That's a concern to me. Smaller boot space overall as well. Okay, so my final thoughts on the Dolphin versus the MG. Look, on paper, certainly the MG looks like it's got better specs for your money. I'll just go back to that first page here. So on paper, yes, very similar price. You do get a better powertrain, which means a better acceleration. Efficiency is not as good, yes, but 350 kilometers of WLTP range is still very respectable. Slightly bigger wheels and slightly bigger boot space as well. The Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity confirmed is good, and the battery powertrain of 7 years is also a good thing as well for an EV. I've not driven either car yet, neither the BYD Dolphin nor the MG4. I've sat in both briefly with other people around and just a quick look. But from experience, I can generally say the BYD vehicles have slightly better build quality. I feel very safe and secure in there. And the quality of the finish is, I think, personally a bit better in the BYD. That's not to say the MG4 is not a great car either. When I sat in there, you certainly get a lot of features and the trim is still very respectable. In terms of drivability, I've often found the BYD Atto 3 quite a nice drive in urban conditions as well as on the highway. A little bit floaty on the highway, but that's also very similar to the MG ZS EV as well. So I guess to make a final call, I'd really love to test drive both vehicles to make a final judgment. But again, these are both great vehicles, and for such a good price as well, within that $38,000 to $39,000 price range. Both are configured quite well, and if you actually step up to the next variant for both brands, then you certainly get quite good value for money as well between the BYD Dolphin and the MG4. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for watching. This is my BYD Dolphin configurator walkthrough, as well as a detailed comparison between the BYD Dolphin and the MG4. Make sure you leave your comments below. I'd love to hear from you which car you think is a better buy in 2023. What do you guys think of the pricing between the variants? I'd love to hear your thoughts. This is Tom from Ludicrous Feed. Until next time, happy charging.